Hello!
Ahoy!
Welcome to the second annual edition of the BOTScars Award Ceremony 2021.
It's the biggest party of the year.
Biggest night of the year. Can't have parties anymore.
Except, yeah, it's a virtual party because
it's a socially distanced BOTScars ceremony.
There's no debauchery after the show this year.
That's true.
After
last year's shenanigans.
You know who we can't name and what we can't mention that they did. But
yeah, exactly. Disgusting. Should be in prison.
Yeah.
You got your tux on?
Yeah.
Me too, man. Top half at least.
Yeah, not my trousers. Board shorts.
You can't podcast in trousers.
Board shorts, no socks, and tuxedo top.
Red tuxedo, I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
You know me. I am the one who owns the red velvet jacket. True story.
Very true story. Seen it in person. How are you, Nick?
Great. I'm excited.
Me too. I love this night. This is the best night of the year.
It's fun doing this show, isn't it? Because we can just there's minimal research required beforehand, and we can just try and take each other down.
That's it. It was just going to be basically an episode of me and Nick arguing with each other. So if that's what you're into,
yeah,
have fun. Strap in and have fun, because there's going to be some arguments tonight. There's some hotly contested categories in these awards.
So what we're doing, basically, if anyone didn't hear last year's or was reasonably new to the show, so we do a stream table for every season of our show, so that ends up being 25 movies at the end of the season, which nicely works out because by the time you've done 2 seasons, you've pretty much done a calendar year. So
pretty much.
Here we are. So anyone who's up for an award or any movie that's up for award is any movie that we reviewed and talked about in either season 3 or season 4 of the show. Yes,
basically the last calendar year of the show.
Exactly. Them's the rules.
10 awards to give out tonight, and 2 people will be inducted to the Captain's Gallery, which is basically our Hall of Fame of people who we think deserve to have a bit more recognition for their contributions to our show.
Yeah.
We've got some two hot categories. No.
Some hot categories?
hot categories. What do we call them? Inductees? Hot inductees this year.
Sure.
They're going to be good. It's going to be good fun. Before we start, do you want to break down the stream table a little bit, the season 4 stream table?
We can do.
Have a bit of a chat now we've had time to take it in a bit.
Yeah, so we finished up 2 weeks ago, didn't we? Because we had a week off. And
how was your Easter?
Yeah, it was great. Turns out I wasn't exaggerating too much about the amount of chocolate because it just kept arriving until about Tuesday. So
I was going to drop some around for the kids, but when you said they'd got 74, I thought I'll just eat them myself.
Yeah,
so I did.
It's the right decision. Very good. I should have probably bought some in to nibble on whilst we were doing this, but I did not. But there you go.
I've eaten all mine. I'm ashamed to say.
I might bring some to you. That's
That'd be nice.
Fine. Okay, so what were we saying? Yes, season 4. I think pretty strong.
Yeah, I think it was a good season. I think the thing with season 4 was the top and the bottom are very distinctive, and there's a big gap in the middle. But the top films were great, and the bottom films were awful. And then the middle films were just middle films.
I do feel possibly more than previous seasons that we've had, there was 3 distinct sections to this table this time around. You're right. Whereas maybe a couple of times before we've seen a really good top 2 or 3 that have been really, really good. And then it's sort of, a bad bottom 3, and then it's kind of merged into one. But I think there was basically a sort of, 3/3 to this, where it wasn't quite as clear cut. The best, there was a good batch. There wasn't a nothing batch, and then an absolute batch of detritus at the bottom.
Good word.
Thanks.
I think there wasn't anything that's like, Calibre doesn't stand out above everything else as like, this is a much better film than everything else. And I don't think it probably competes for the number 1 spot in any of the other stream tables either. But like I say, the top, there was a better quality of film at the top rather than having 1 or 2 standouts at the top like we've had previously. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and it was run close a couple of times, wasn't it? But it did just do enough to hang on, and I think that's worthy for this season.
Do you want to break it down a little bit and go through them in groups of 5 or something?
Yeah, I can do. Go for it.
Okay, so the bottom 5 of the stream table this season were 25th was Swiped, 24th was Aerials, 23rd was Darklight, 22 was Malevolent, 21 was Life Force. All 5 of those films are dog shit.
Garbage. Absolute garbage. I mean, Life Force may be slightly different because that was a real slog to get through. It's just not aged well. But I still don't think it was great at the time. Surely it can't have been.
Aerials you kind of have to give a bit of a pass to as well. Because it's such low budget and from a country that doesn't make films. It was made in Dubai, was it?
Yeah, from the United Arab Emirates. And it was... You see, I don't want to sound patronising and say it was a good try, but because it's genuinely one of the worst films I've ever seen, it might be one of the worst acted films I've ever seen.
It is the worst acted film you've ever seen. I guarantee that.
But I think I said in the episode, I kind of wanted to see it through and see. I didn't want to turn it off at any point.
No, but it didn't finish bottom of the table. Swiped is a worse film, and that's a Hollywood film. Yeah,
it's just terrible. It's just
all 5 of them. Darklight was terrible as well. Just nonsense.
Darklight had a good... That was the aliens in the field, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, monsters. Quite like the design, but it's woeful again.
Poor. Malevolent again, not scary ghost story that turned into torture porn at the end.
Awful. Just nothing redeeming. And that had some big names in it. Obviously, a pre-fame, or not quite as famous, Florence Pugh.
Yeah.
Or Flopo, as she's known.
Flopo.
And it was really terrible.
And who was the older woman? It's Cynthia Imrie.
Celia Imrie.
Celia Imrie.
Yeah, who became, spoiler alert, turned into
Jigsaw.
Yeah, exactly, at the end.
Yeah, it was awful. Next group, 20 was Deadcon, 19 was iBoy, 18 was Red Dot, 17 was White Girl, and 16 was Results. Deadcon, again, just boring horror film.
I thought it was terrible.
Nothing about it at all. Not worth watching. iBoy, I think's a little bit low. I didn't hate iBoy.
I wanted more from it. I thought it wasted Maisie Williams. Maybe it caught me a bit on a bad night, but I didn't enjoy it. Again, it was another one that felt like a slog through for me.
Yeah, definitely. Red Dot, again,
wasted potential, I would say.
Excellent premise, terrible film.
That was the quite. I think it's the most recent movie, isn't it, on the list? It's in terms of when it was made. And it was
probably the most recent we've ever done.
The couple who were terrorised by an unknown assailant in the Swedish countryside. Problem is there was only 4 people in the film, so you knew who the assailant was straight away, and it kind of removed any danger or suspense for me.
Yeah. White Girl.
Ridiculous ending as well.
Yeah, it was. White Girl was a recent one that we've done. That's only a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? But
yeah,
just a sexy drug romp is all that was.
Middle of the road for me, that one.
Yeah. And Results. You liked Results a lot more than I did. I just didn't have a lot of time for it.
I thought it was fine. Nothing groundbreaking, but I kind of liked the performances. It was Kobe Smulders, wasn't it, and Guy Pearce.
Yeah.
It's mumblecore, isn't it? I got something out of it, but I totally understand why you didn't like it. I completely get that.
Good. 15th was Hungerford, 14 was Shimmer Lake, 13 was Would You Rather, 12 was The Discovery, and 11 was Pottersville.
Yep.
Hungerford. Where did we start with Hungerford?
Certainly one of the most memorable movies.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
I've seen on the show.
It's a low-budget student English zombie movie. Was it zombies? Yeah.
It was aliens.
Aliens, sorry.
People into zombies.
I just had a mental blank then. I just couldn't remember what the film was about.
So the aliens basically turned people into zombies, didn't they? And
it would look like it had been made for about 10 quid by a load of students because it was made for about 10 quid by a load of students.
It's got the worst / most hilarious car crash I've ever seen on film.
Yeah.
And it's got Drew Casson, owner of the most wondrous hair I've ever seen.
The beautiful Drew Casson.
It's terrible. It's terrible. But we both kind of just liked
I have
a bit.
Yeah, I have a real affection for it. It has a place in my heart. It's just, I love that sort of... It's a terrible film, but there's something there. Something there for me. Shimmer Lake.
I mean, I'm struggling to recall
here
it, to be honest.
Exactly. I was just going to say the same thing. I'm sitting here struggling to remember what it was about.
It was the backwards crime caper, wasn't it?
It was instantly forgettable. I still, now you've said backwards crime caper, I still can't really even think about it. Would you rather? Again, that was a bit of wasted potential as well. That could have been so much more than it was.
Same for me. Same as Shimmer Lake. Just absolutely middle of the road.
Torture porny again, wasn't it? Just
did nothing for me.
Trying to be a Saw rip-off. Not great. The Discovery at number 12.
I would say good premise.
We're in that middle of the road section here. There's just nothing here in these 5.
So, do you remember from the Discovery the first? And it's not nominated in the BOTScars, but the only bit that I could really sticks in my mind in terms of a memorable moment is the pre-credit scene where they're interviewing.
Yes.
Robert Redford.
Yes. It was the director's mum, wasn't it? If I remember right.
and he just shoots himself on the interview set, and then after that, it's all downhill.
Still downhill from there. Then we come to Pottersville.
Yeah, I think this is the first hard recommend for me.
Yeah, it's a Christmas film about a Bigfoot. You can't really say much more than that if that's what you're into. You're going to know straight away from those words if that's what you're into. So
yeah,
if it is, just go out and watch it. It's all right.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. And again, it's a bit shonky, but I like quite a few of the people in it. And go watch Pottersville. I think it's a cool movie.
Top 10. So 10 was El Camino Christmas. 9 was A Silent Voice, the lowest of this season's wildcards. 8 was Alex Strangelove. 7 was Catfight. And 6 was The Funhouse Massacre, which was the finale of the season. So let's start on El Camino Christmas, another Christmas film. There's a Christmas film section.
I really liked it.
Yeah, it's good. It's just a brainless heist movie, but it's good, isn't it?
I think our criticism was that it took a
little bit
the first
too long
half
to
get going, but once it got all its key players in place, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. It's right on that borderline of would you recommend it, would you not? Because everything above here, the top 9 in this table are all hard recommends for me.
Yeah.
So number 9 is A Silent Voice, which was Ross Cook's wild card for this season. Japanese anime love story.
I found it really quite moving. Yeah, I am really glad I watched it. I think it was a really good choice by Ross.
Yeah, agreed.
And it's one of the reasons I wanted to do the show, because it's something I wouldn't necessarily have picked and put on of my own validation, but I think I found a really enjoyable movie, worthwhile movie.
Agreed. Couldn't say much more about that myself. Number 8 was Alex Strangelove.
Yeah. See, maybe I'm not as high on this as you. I liked it, but I wanted a bit more from it.
Yeah, it maybe is a little bit too high in the table, to be fair.
I think that's debatable, because it's only going to drop down a place or two.
Yeah, maybe a place or two, but it's a good film. It's basically coming out story, isn't it? Coming out story. Yeah, it's just good. It's a good little love story.
It's a good movie, yeah.
It is. 7, Catfight.
Alright, this is too low for me. It's top 5 for me.
This is about where it should be. This is one of the weirdest films I've ever seen. It's basically 90 minutes of 2 women fighting.
But it's also a political allegory for the 2016 American election.
Unbelievably, it is, yeah.
It's like a class commentary as well. It's also got like several time jumps, and it just goes places you just would never have thought.
No. Catfight's one of those films I'm really glad I've seen it. I won't ever watch it again, but I'm really glad I've seen it.
See,
it's so unique. It's not like nothing else you'll ever see.
I definitely wouldn't. And if anyone said to me, "Do you want I want something surprising," I'm saying, go and watch that.
Yeah, agreed. It's a proper little hidden gem.
Whatever you think you're getting, you're not.
Number 6 was Funhouse Massacre. This was my wild card for the season. Season finale as well. It's exactly what it says on the tin. It's a massacre in a funhouse, and it's fun.
it knows what it's doing and it does it well, doesn't it?
It does it really well. It's a really good little film. Really good little low-budget gore fest. Enjoyed it. Do you want to do the top 5?
Let's do it.
VFW was number 5. The Lost Bullet was number 4. Anna and the Apocalypse was number 3. The Plagues of Breslau is number 2. And Caliber won this season's stream table. So let's talk VFW first. Old guys bar fight.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I mean, come on, it is. Yes, we know it's this sort of Dusk Till Dawn template, but it won a lot of points for sort of nostalgia for me, given some of the cast. And yeah, it's just gritty, it's grainy, it's got that sort of grindhouse feel to it, it's gory, it's just a bit of a throwback, and I really enjoyed it.
Agreed. It's a really good film. Number 4 was your wild card, Lost Bullet.
Yeah, it's just a fun heist police comedy. Not comedy, police chase. I was thinking of something else. I was going to say comedy. Chase movie. A lot cleverer than I thought it was when I picked it. You know, I thought we were getting a ridiculous, stupid action movie, and it was a bit more considered than I thought.
Agreed. Yeah.
I'm going to shoot myself in the foot here with the Lost Bullet, but I actually think it is a couple too high.
Oh, really?
If it was just my table, but it's not. So
true. Number 3 was Anna and the Apocalypse, romantic zombie comedy, musical. Don't forget that.
That's just fun. It's got some great tunes.
Yes, it is. Yeah, you can't say fairer than that. It's just there's some cracking tunes. I found myself listening to the soundtrack a few times. There's some really good songs in it. If you like a musical and you like a comedy zombie film, it's Shaun of the Dead the musical, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Number 2 is The Plagues of Breslau.
Yeah, I mean, Polish. It's the Polish version of Seven, isn't it?
Yep.
And it's fun.
It's fun and it's really good. The story's really compelling and it is really good time. It flies by.
Awful haircuts in it just to keep you amused.
Very true. And this season's winner of the stream table is Caliber, Sam Mulholland's wild card. What have you got to say about Caliber, Nick?
I don't think we've ever had a movie sort of so early that has then hung on to the top spot.
No, it was the 6th episode of this season. It stayed there for 19 weeks.
But there's a couple of real standout moments, which I'm sure we'll get to. Some really good performances, and it was a compelling watch.
Yeah,
it's it does rely heavily on influences, things like Deliverance. It's that sort of two outsiders coming into a local village for local people. But again, it still goes maybe some places you don't quite expect, and then the final shot is just awesome. It's
wonderful. It's a wonderful film. Like I said, I don't think it competes at the top of the rest of the stream tables, but it thoroughly deserves to be at the top of this one. It's really good.
Yeah, I think it'd be top of these 2 seasons that we're talking about, maybe for me. Just thinking back, but
yeah, possibly. Okay,
yeah,
I'll give you that. So yeah, that's the stream table from 25 to 1. Overall, quite good. Shall we do some awards?
Let's do it.
We get going. Let's get going. Right. What is our first award of the evening, Nick? Do you want to do the nominations on this one?
I can do, yeah. So our first award of the evening and of the year is the Best Death.
Nice. And the nominations are?
Nominations for Best Death are the bowling ball head crush from Anna and the Apocalypse, the dude getting pulled apart by horses in the Plagues of Breslau. That's literally he was pulled apart by horses. He wasn't like listening to the band or anything. The next one is impaled on a samurai sword in super dark times. Then we've got... I don't know why I'm laughing, this is horrible. We've got Paul Rudd watching his daughter being molested whilst dying in Mute. We've got... I've called it Bad Vibrations, but this is the guy from Holidays who had a vibrator stuck up his anus and turned on to industrial strength levels. And then finally, in Holidays. And then finally, the Test Your Strength from Funhouse Massacre.
Oh, that one's not on my list. Okay. I don't know what's going on with my list.
Okay.
If I miss any nominations, then just
I'll pick
shout
you
me
up.
out. Okay. All classic deaths there. All very memorable moments from the show. Have you got any first thoughts on it?
I think, for me, the most horrific was the one in Holidays. But I don't know if I want to say that's the best death.
It's difficult, isn't it, when you say best death? What are we just like the most appealing one, the most fun one? I don't know how we judge this one.
Well, that's what we're here to talk about, isn't it? Is it most spectacular, the most awful? Because that Paul Rudd one's pretty bad in Mute.
Yeah. I think there's one we should discount straight away.
Okay.
Although it is a wonderful moment in the film. The bowling ball head crush in Anna and the Apocalypse was carried out onto a zombie, which technically was already dead.
That's true, but he didn't come back after having his head crushed between two bowling balls.
He didn't, and it is a really good scene, but I don't think it wins for me, just because it's somebody that was already dead.
Fine, I can go with that.
If it was best second death, then maybe. The Test of Strength machine in Funhouse Massacre is brilliant. That's such a good scene. And that character, that clown that does that, is a great character.
Yeah, so what happens there is our one of our fearless teenagers trips and falls, manages to kind of drag himself up, but oh no, his head is on the plate of the Test Your Strength machine, and then the hefty clown wrestler guy comes and smooshes his head up
with a big old hammer.
That's a strong contender for me, I've got to say.
Yeah, I agreed. It's a strong one for me as well. Pulled Apart by Horses, that wasn't a character from the film. We didn't know that guy. But it is a really nice scene in the film, but it's very quick.
Yes.
I think we can maybe knock that one out as well.
It was done for gore purposes. It didn't really,
you say,
it wasn't a character you were invested.
We already knew that had happened, and then we get to see it. It wasn't a character you're invested in either. The samurai sword from Super Dark Times. Now, that is the whole point of that film, is that moment kicks the whole film off. And for me, that's a really strong contender as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's pivotal. It's probably the most pivotal death.
Oh, definitely. That whole film doesn't happen if that death doesn't happen.
But
it's as simple as that.
I think I'm ruling it out in terms of spectacularness or memorableness.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's a really it is a really momentous moment in that film, but it's not memorable in itself. And then you've got Vibrated to Death from Holidays, which was
You're never going to forget that.
You're never going to forget that at all. I'm never going to forget Holidays. I think it's between three. I think it's between Paul Rudd being left to die in Mute, Vibrated to Death in Holidays, and the Test of Strength machine head crush.
Right, I'm ruling out Paul Rudd because it is horrific.
And it's horrible to watch.
It's awful. And I don't want to take it because down that route. I'm putting my chips in the Funhouse, and I'll go with the Test Your Strength.
I think I'm with you on that. If you knock it, Paul Rudd's death is horrific, but it's not the best death. So I think I'm with you. I think that death in Funhouse Massacre is brilliant. It's the first one in the film as well, isn't it? It was the first major one in the film. It sets it all off. It sets it all. I think it's the second guy to die, but the first one just got thrown on the floor. It's the first major gory death, and it sets up that whole film to go where it goes. And I think, for me, that's the one that wins it.
Congratulations
to the Funhouse Massacre. We'll have to try and find out the name of the guy who took that death.
Excellent. Right. Well done.
Good award. First award given to the Funhouse Massacre. Second award of the evening is going to be for worst performance by a human.
Or a human.
I don't know why I said it like that. Do you want me to do the nominations for this one?
Yes, go for it.
Okay, so the nominations for worst performance by a human are Noah Centineo for Swiped. Oh, why have I chosen to do this one when I can't pronounce any of the names? Saga Aliasseri from Aerials.
Yep.
Anna Drusiniana for Aerials. Katie Sackhoff for 2036 Origins Unknown, and the entire cast of Deadly Detention. Thoughts?
I think this is a really difficult one to call.
Agreed. Any one of the 5 of them deserve that. If I was going to have to narrow it down, I'd maybe take the 2 guys from Ariel's out because...
Do they cancel each other out?
Yes, and they're not professional actors.
But it's the worst acted movie I've ever seen.
Agreed.
I would take her out as being slightly better than him. So Anna Drzninia is slightly better than Saga Alizeri, but they're in their room together, acting in the same film, and it feels like they're in different films.
It feels like they're in different countries.
I think he's a really strong contender.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll leave him in for now then. Noah Centineo. Talk to me. Swiped is an awful film.
Can you polish a turd? That's what you got to think about.
Exactly. Noah Centineo is not an awful actor, and I think he maybe did the best of what he could with that terrible writing.
I think I'm with you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It was. Do you remember going back to season 1, Sierra Burgess is a Loser? That's also an awful film, but he was probably the best thing about it.
Yeah, him and Shannon Purser and that, they had chemistry. I think I remember saying that at the time. Right, he's gone. It's fine. Look, I've kind of got the same argument for the cast of Deadly Detention.
Yeah.
Because none of them stuck out as terrible. They're all just terrible.
Yeah.
But it's a terrible film I've ever seen.
Yeah. So are we cutting that out as well? Which takes us down to 2.
Yeah, for me, it's Saga Alizeri versus Katie Sackhoff. Again, I know is a good actress.
This is my point. This is the point I was about to make. You know Katie Sackhoff's a good actress. In this film, which is terrible, she is terrible.
She can't carry it.
No, she can't.
It's a sort of one woman in a room on her own, well, with a computer, and she can't carry it. But it's an absolute dud. It's so boring.
Was it bottom of season 3? It was, wasn't it? It was the worst film of season 3. I think Katie Sackhoff gets this in my head just for the fact that she is a well-renowned actress and Saga Alizeri is not a world-renowned actor. And the fact that she is terrible in this film is worse than him being terrible in that film.
It's really tough because he's. I don't know if we're splitting hairs. He's so bad, but could he have done any better? That's the thing. He's not. That was his first role, his only role. Whereas Katie Sackhoff is she's known as a good actress, and she is not a good actress in 2036. Right, I'll tell you what my deciding factor is. As I said earlier, I did not want to turn Ariel's off. I wish I could have turned 2036 Origins Unknown off. Agreed.
I'd have turned that off after 4 minutes. It's an awful film.
Let's give it to Katie.
Congratulations, Katie Sackhoff, for winning the worst performance by a human in the BOTScars. Right,
commiserations.
Yeah, I don't know if it's congratulations or not.
She's really good in she was in The Mandalorian, wasn't she, this season?
Yeah, she's good in most things. That's why I can't get over the fact that she's terrible in that. Right, shall we counteract our negativity there? And
yeah, I'll do the nice one.
Do the nice one.
Best performance by a human. The nominations are Owen Campbell for Super Dark Times, Gugu Mbatha Raw for Fast Colour, Anne Hesh for Catfight, Sandra Oh for Catfight, Jack Loudon for Caliber, and Malcolm Cumming for Anna and the Apocalypse.
Very well done.
Thanks.
Initial thoughts? I have a winner in my head for this one already.
So do I.
Okay.
I've got a standout for me, and I'd be really surprised if it was the same as you. To be honest.
Shall we just do that?
A couple out first?
Yeah, okay. Just let's rule some out then. Who are you?
The one who I want to drop out straight away for me is Malcolm Cumming. He's great. I don't think he's in it enough.
He's the best thing about that film, but you're right.
Yes.
I don't think he is in it enough. Yeah, so okay. I'll happily knock him out. That sounds wrong. I quite like him. I'm not going to knock him out.
I think it's really difficult to pick Anne Hesh or Sandra Oh above one.
I was just going to say the same. I think those two cancel each other out, and you can't pick one over the other.
But they're both incredible.
Yep.
And I think we'll come back to Catfight later on.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to pitch or shall I pitch?
You pitch first.
So, I've thought about this one. This is probably the category I've thought about the most. And I know it was a while ago we saw this film, and I wonder if it's sort of fallen out of our memories a little bit.
Okay.
But I'm Gaga for Gugu.
I knew you were going Gaga for Gugu.
Because I think she absolutely carried Fast Colour.
Yeah, she did.
It was a really enjoyable film, and it's a superhero origin story that didn't make me hate it, because I don't like a lot of superhero origin stories. And I think it all hinged on her, and I thought she was brilliant. Agreed,
yeah, she is really good. I'm going to discount Jack Lowden from Caliber, and I want to put an argument in for Owen Campbell for Super Dark Times. Okay. I remember saying at the time when we watched Super Dark Times that was the best performance we've ever seen on the show. I don't think we've seen a better one since, and the only person that does run it close is Gugu, because she was awesome in that film. So that is a really tough call for me between those two.
Yeah, it's tough.
Owen Campbell in Super Dark Times is one of the best acting performances I've seen since we've started the show in the 100 films that we've now done. He's that good in it. Like, that good. I don't know how we pick.
Well, I think Fast Colour's a better film for me overall. I know it finished lower.
I was going to say Super Dark Times was definitely higher up in the table.
But
Fast Colour's a brilliant film.
Yeah.
But then Super Dark Times is also a brilliant film. Is it a cop-out to make it a tie? I think it is, isn't it? I don't think we can do that.
No, we can't do that. I mean, I've got something in my back pocket which I'm considering laying on the table.
What's that?
And if you remember, we did have an agreement from the Funhouse Massacre episode.
Did we?
Yeah, where I would hold a deciding vote in a category of the BOTScars.
That's true. We did.
To be honest, this is where I'm thinking of cashing it in, because I just thought the whole thing hinged on her in that movie.
Yeah,
and he was great in Super Dark Times, but he had a lot of help from those around him.
Agreed. If you want to play that there, that is fine with me. I have no issue with her winning that award. None at all.
It's done.
Cool. Congratulations to Gugu Mbatha-Raw for Best Performance by a Human. For some reason, I can't say a human. I don't know why. It's never come up before. Right. Award number 4.
Sure.
This is the new one. New for 2021. This is the Weirdest Naughty Award. Do you want to explain what the Weirdest Naughty means, Nick? For people who are not familiar?
Yeah, so this is a new award. And we kind of noticed, didn't we, these 2 seasons that we're covering, there's been a lot of sort of strange sex scenes.
Yeah, there has.
And that can be in a strange place, or it's a strange situation, or it's just weird stuff. And we didn't really have a problem coming up with these nominations.
No, they kind of wrote themselves, these ones.
Some of it is just a bit out of place. Some of it is in a weird film. And I think this is a really tough one to call. So,
do you want me to do the nominations?
Yeah, go for it.
So the nominations for the Weirdest Naughty Award go to the Snake Demon and the Lady from Holidays, Alex and Claire from Alex Strangelove, Leah and Alex and Kelly in White Girl, Alex and Emily in The Overnight, A Humanoid from the Deep and A Human Teenager from Humanoids from the Deep, Jason and Christina in the Toilet from Funhouse Massacre. There's some very weird sex scenes in that list, Nick.
I've just realised how many Alexes are in that category.
There is quite a lot.
There's 3.
Yeah.
In 3 different films. What's your first thoughts?
I think this one's quite easy.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. When you look at them, there's one that stands out for me as being one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
Really? I'm finding that one difficult.
Really?
Yeah.
Shall I just tell you which one I think should win then?
Yeah.
I think the Snake Demon and the Woman from the Holidays should win that.
It's really weird.
It's really fucking weird.
But yeah, but
I'd completely forgotten about it until you wrote it down in these nominations, and then I was like, yeah, that wins. Without doubt, it's the weirdest fucking thing. It's so weird.
I was kind of thinking, I was between two.
Yeah.
And it was Alex and Emily in the overnight.
Yeah.
But that's the bit at the start so it's not when they all get into the sex games at the end.
Yeah.
It's the bit at the start where they're kind of really awkwardly having sex. And then the whole point of the movie is that Alex, who is played by, I don't know why I've said this because I can't remember his name, Adam Scott.
Yes.
Has got a micro penis.
Yeah.
So they have to finish themselves both off, don't they? Yeah. And it's just really awkward.
It's
weird.
so awkward to watch.
And that's the first scene in the movie.
If it were doing awkwardest naughty, then I think that's a shoe-in.
And then,
but it's not weird.
The other one that stuck out for me is when that humanoid just rapes that teenager in the tent.
Yeah, that was strange. I think you can. The one from White Girl, I think we can rule out. It is a weird scene, but it fits in with the tone of the film, and it doesn't even last that long.
Yeah.
So I think we'll wipe that one out. I think you can wipe out Alex Strangelove and his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Because that was just weird as well, and nothing really happened. The toilet naughty from Funhouse Massacre.
It's just in a toilet.
It's just weird because one of the killers is watching and kind of getting off at it at the time. I can't look past that snake and that woman. Sorry, I just can't.
Yeah.
I just can't. It's so fucking weird. Yeah?
Done.
Congratulations to the cast of Holidays.
You have the weirdest naughty.
You do. Right. The fifth award of the evening. Halfway there after this one. So, do you want to read out the nominations for the fifth award of the evening?
I sure do.
Go for it.
The next award is, to coin one of your favourite phrases, the most batshit crazy movie.
Yes.
And the nominations are Gantz O, Pottersville, The Bad Batch, Elementary, The Blacksmith and the Devil, Catfight, and Holidays.
This is a tough pick.
I think it is.
We've watched some fucking crazy films these last two seasons. Any one of those films could win this. Easily.
Yeah.
This is the only one I've not highlighted who I think might win.
Strong arguments for all of them.
Yeah, agreed. Do you want to run through them all? Give a quick synopsis. So Ganso is the Japanese anime monster aliens monsters not aliens attack
it's dead
Japanese
people
cities. Yeah.
Brought back to life to fight an invading force of monsters.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a CGI anime. And it's crazy as fuck.
Rivers of blood.
Oodles of blood. Blood everywhere.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Pottersville is, like we said earlier, a Christmas film about about a Bigfoot or a man dressed up as a Bigfoot. Again, super bonkers. The Bad Batch. Where do you even start talking about what the fucking Bad Batch is?
Yeah, it's post-apocalyptic bodybuilding cannibals with Keanu Reeves leading a cult thrown in there.
Jim Carrey's there as a hobo.
Yeah,
Jason Momoa is the main character
around.
It's so weird.
Very, very stylish. Yeah, it's weird.
Elementary, the Blacksmith and the Devil, is about a demon and a blacksmith fighting each other.
Yep.
Say no more. Catfight we've already covered. That is about basically two women fighting for 90 minutes. And Holidays is a anthology movie. There's 5 different short films in there? 4 or 5?
Yes.
Set on a different holiday. Each film set on a different holiday of the year, like St. Patrick's Day, Easter, Christmas, New Year.
I think I would like to rule out Holidays.
Really?
Because I think it's a cheat, because it gets to be crazy 8 times.
True, but it is crazy.
Yeah, it is. But
it's super batshit.
But I think that's bending the rules because it's eight short films.
Okay, if you're going to rule out holidays, I want to rule out Catfight.
That's interesting.
Catfight isn't that crazy compared to the other four.
I think it is. I mean, to be honest, that's the one I was going to pitch.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Because it's totally surprising, and it's.
But is it batshit crazy? It's just two women who don't like each other fighting. It's like a night out.
Yeah, but they're like mashing each other with like tire irons, and it's like Tom and Jerry type.
Agreed. But Ganso is about monsters being fought by dead people in Japan.
And then you've got people going into comas for 3 years at a time, which you didn't see come in. And
true.
It's set in reality, isn't it? That's why it's weird for me. It
is weird. It isn't as weird as Ganso. It isn't as weird as Pottersville. It isn't as weird as The Bad Batch.
Oh, see, Pottersville was the one I was going to knock off as being the.
I think you can knock out Pottersville. I think I'm happy to knock away Pottersville. I'm probably happy to knock away Elementary as well, purely for the fact that it's such a really good film. And it is crazy, but it's really, really good.
Yeah.
And I'd probably give the same argument to The Bad Batch. The Bad Batch isn't really even about anything, but it's quite good. For me, it's Ganso, but if for you it's Catfight, then.
Well, it was between those two. They were my two.
The Ganso has a monster in it that's made up of human people.
It's got one as just a head.
Yeah.
It's
got one that looks like Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
There's so much blood in it. There's so much death in it. There's so much. It's all controlled by one big black ball that just brings people back to life. You cannot tell you how crazy this film is. Ganso has to win this award.
It's done. It's in.
It has to. It's batshit crazy. That was Ross's wildcard for season 3, wasn't it?
No, it was mine.
Oh, was it yours?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
No problem. Right, that's 5 awards down. Shall we have a break?
Let's do it. See you later.
Also, during the BOTScars award ceremony, we like to induct 2 new members into our Hall of Fame, or the Captain's Gallery, as we call it. Basically, these are people that we think deserve a bit more recognition for their contributions to the show, I guess.
Yeah, and it tends to be because they've turned up more than once, or they've made a lasting impression on us, for good or for bad.
So we inducted 2 people last year. Last year we inducted Mason Blair, who had been in a couple of films in the first 2 seasons, and hasn't been back since.
He'd written
one as
well,
yeah.
One, hadn't he?
Yeah, he'd written one. He was in at least 2, maybe even 3.
I believe he was in 3. He was in 3. He was in Murder Party, and he was in Small Crimes, and he was in
Hold the Dark.
Did
he write I think he wrote Hold the Dark as well.
He did, yeah. And
we also inducted Shannon Purser last year, mainly because she was Sierra Burgess in one of the worst films we've ever seen, and she was also in.
She popped up in
Wish Upon.
Yes, correct. She was like one of the best friends in that.
Dug that out of my head. So they both went in last year.
Yeah, correct.
And so we need to put 2 new people in this year. So we'll do one now and we'll do one later. Do you want to reveal who's going in first this year into the Captain's Gallery?
No, because I can't remember which order we're doing it in. So,
okay.
Does it matter?
Yes.
Okay, you do it.
The first inductee into the 2021 Captain's Gallery is going to be Alexander Skarsgård.
Welcome
along to the Captain's Gallery. Again, Alexander Skarsgård has appeared twice on the show. He was in the aforementioned Hold the Dark as well. And he was also in Mute.
He was the lead in both, wasn't he?
Yes, he was the lead in both. Hold the Dark finished 4th in that season's Stream Table. Mute finished 12th, so he's done pretty well in both appearances as well.
He didn't even have to speak in the second one.
He didn't. He was mute.
He played Mute.
If you don't know Alexander Skarsgård, he's pretty much been in a lot of stuff just lately. He's in the new Kong vs. Godzilla film. He plays Randall Flagg in the new series of The Stand. He was in True Blood back in the day.
He's a famous Skarsgård.
His brother plays Pennywise. There's loads of... I think there's 3 of them, isn't there? There's Bill, Alexander and Stellion.
Yeah.
Thoroughly deserves to be in there, I think. Hold the Dark and Mute are both really good films. And like you said, he took the lead in both of them. So, welcome to the Captain's Gallery, Mr. Skarsgård.
We will hang his picture in due course in the mess.
Aboard the stream boat.
Yeah.
Right, shall we move on to the second half of the award ceremony?
Let's do it.
Whose turn is it to read one? Mine.
Yes, go for it.
The next award category that we are going to be doing this evening is Best Performance by a Non-Human. So these nominations are all non-human based. Why have I got the difficult words again? God's sake. The nominations are the Zombievers from Zombievers.
No, it's not. It's not.
What am I doing?
It's the Zombiever Bear.
Oh, Oh, sorry. I'll start again. The nominations are the Zombear Beaver from Zombievers, the Danny Trejo Demon from Gantz O, Shoya Ishida from A Silent Voice, Shoko Nishimaya from A Silent Voice, the Colours from Fast Colour, and the Easter Bunny from Holidays. What are your thoughts, Nicholas?
I think I'm ruling out the Zombiever Bear because it was like 2 seconds.
It wasn't in for very long, and I think that's fair.
You can't have it.
Okay.
Plus, we're not giving an award to the Backstreet Boys.
True. That was played by the Backstreet Boys randomly.
Ruling out the colours in Fast Colour.
Why?
Because it's just a special effect.
Okay, fair enough.
But why are you gonna argue them?
I was going to argue them, but
okay,
they're just awesome. That was my argument.
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. It isn't a performance, and they're not. No.
And that was about as far as I got. I'm open to argue between the rest of.
It's weird for me that we've nominated the 2 characters from A Silent Voice because they're human. They're voiced by humans and they're humanoid cartoon characters.
But they're animations.
They are animations.
That was the thinking.
I can't really look past the Danny Trejo Demon in Ganzo.
I think that's where I'm looking. I think Ganzo's looking at getting 2 awards in a row here.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that moment in that film when it isn't officially a Danny Trejo Demon, it just looks like him. We've just called it that. It's not what it's called.
They kill it like 4 times.
Yeah,
and
it just keeps coming
back for more.
It's a really good moment in that film.
It is a brilliant scene.
Yeah, it is. It's probably the best part of that film. And it's definitely the best monster in that film.
He's won it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations to the Danny Trejo Demon. Right. Moving on.
I'm not putting his we're not putting his picture up on the boat.
No. The next award of the evening.
Next up, we have the most memorable moment. And we had plenty of those.
We did. Why there's so many nominations in this category.
Nominations are the shooting in Caliber, baby thrown off a motorbike in Peelers. You just can't imagine these being read out at the Oscars, can you?
No.
The blacksmith goes to hell in Elementary, the police station fight in Lost Bullet, get your dicks out for the girls in The Overnight, and meeting the Easter Bunny in Holidays.
Wow. Wow. Where do we even start with this one? I think one should be thrown out straight away.
Okay.
So do I. Which one are you talking? Which one are you thinking?
I think as great as it is and as well choreographed as it is, I'm ditching the police station fight from Lost Bullet.
Okay. That's fine. That isn't the one I was going to say.
It's amazing.
It's a great scene.
But it doesn't quite stack up to the rest of them for me.
No.
In terms of sheer memorability.
Completely agree. The one I was going to throw out is Baby Thrown Off a Motorbike from Peelers.
Really? Because you missed it?
Because I didn't see it, so how can it be memorable?
That's because you'd looked away from the screen. It came.
It came right at the end of the film. I did go back and watch it, yeah. It comes right, it's literally the very last thing that happens in the film. There's the people are escaping the end of the film. One of them just drops a baby off the back of the motorbike.
Yeah, so the two survivors are escaping, aren't they?
Yeah.
Unbeknownst was it announced to us? I can't remember. But the guy has been infected and is a zombie.
Yeah. We found out just before, I think.
He casually just throws this baby off the motorbike.
Yeah.
But the worst part is it goes. Rah!
It does, I can't believe I missed it. But I
had to rewind it to check I wasn't hallucinating. I think that's insane.
I agree. It is insane. It is absolutely insane. That foul film's insane, to be fair. Yeah. That as well could have been in the most batshit crazy category easily.
Yes.
I think we're beating around the bush here. I think this one's, to me, is pretty straightforward.
I do want to give an honourable mention, because I think I know where we're going.
Yeah.
But I would like to give an honourable mention to the overnight.
Yeah.
Because when Jason Schwartzman and Adam Scott come out and do that dance.
Completely stark bollock naked.
Yeah.
Willy's out.
Yeah, as we say, the aforementioned micropenis on full display.
Yeah.
It is.
That's a very memorable moment.
I really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah. I did as well. I've got a lot of time for the overnight. I'd like to give a shout out to the Easter Bunny as well, because that took my breath away when that thing showed up on the screen, because it's
creepy as
grim. It's horrible. It's a horrible looking thing. But we are beating about the bush, because the most memorable moment, probably ever, is the shooting from Caliber.
I mean, it's definitely up there with last year's winner, which was the woman getting pushed off the cliff.
Yeah, it has the same gravitas as that moment does.
Yeah.
And it's a no-brainer. It was the easiest one for me, this one. Yeah, if that scene doesn't happen, that film doesn't win our stream table.
It is the winner. It's the young boy getting shot in Caliber.
If that scene doesn't happen, that film is not number one in the table. That scene makes that film what it is.
Yeah, and it's not just the actual shooting. It is the next 3, 4, 5 minutes in the movie, isn't it? It's everyone's performance around that. It's the two leads, and then when the father comes running around the corner, it's awesome. It's
one of the first times in the history of the show where I've literally almost left my seat from holy shit, I did not see that come in, because it comes out of nowhere as well. It's so out of left field. It's a great moment. Yeah, winner, shooting, Caliber. Congratulations to those.
Done.
The next award of the evening, we're flying through these, this is my favourite award that we give, I think. This is the Drowning in the Stream Award. So, for those who are not aware, the Drowning in the Stream Award is given to a highly famous, highly regarded actor who for some reason has appeared on our show.
What are you doing in this movie?
Why are you down here at the bottom of the stream when you're a top-notch actor? So, the nominations for the Drowning in the Stream Award go to Jim Carrey for The Bad Batch, Robert Redford for The Discovery, Ron Perlman for Pottersville, Kevin Smith for Holidays, and Anna Paquin for Furlough/Time Out. And I've done an and too early because it's and Gary Oldman for Tao. Cool.
There's some good ones here.
Yeah, there are. There's some fantastic actors there and some not so fantastic films.
I think I'm ruling out Kevin Smith because he wasn't in it. He just directed 10 minutes.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But definitely notable that he turned up to direct a segment in that movie.
Yes, definitely.
And I think, like I said before, one of the reasons Holidays shows up quite a lot in these awards is because there was 8 different mini movies, all crazy.
Yeah.
So I think that skewed their nominations a bit.
Agreed.
But that's fine. I think I'd like to rule out Anna Paquin because she's literally in one scene.
Yeah.
And I think she probably just turned up on set for the day.
Yeah, probably. She's probably just a friend of somebody else who's in it. I think you can also rule out Ron Perlman. Because
Me too.
Ron Perlman is a big name actor, but he does appear in a lot of shit.
Yeah.
He does work a lot. And it isn't unusual to find him in something that's not top quality. Which leaves us with 3.
Yeah.
So it leaves us with Gary Oldman for Tao, Jim Carrey for The Bad Batch, and Robert Redford for The Discovery.
Okay, I've got one.
Okay.
Have you?
Yes.
I'm putting my chips in on Bobby Redford.
Me too. Robert Redford's one of the most famous people in the world. Famous actors in the world.
Yeah, I know this film was a couple of years old, but obviously, why did he choose this one?
I don't know. It's so strange that Robert Redford is in this film.
It's all right.
Yeah.
And he's fine.
But he's Robert Redford.
Yeah. He doesn't have to. He can be so choosy. And what made him choose this?
Yeah.
It's fine. But that's it.
Yeah.
It's totally middle of the road, the movie.
Yeah, completely.
And I did not understand why he was in it.
It's literally middle of the road. It was 12th in the stream table. You didn't get much more middle than that.
Yeah, it's so bang average.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't understand.
It's not even like a really... Certainly the way it ended up on screen, it's not even like a meaty role for him to like...
No,
he
not
doesn't
really.
Get to flex his muscles in it,
there's no real acting in it. It's just... No, I just can't understand how he's in it. I think just to give the other two a shout out, Jim Carrey being in The Bad Batch is not unusual. It's a very strange part because he's basically a mute, and he doesn't.
He's unrecognisable.
It's completely unrecognisable. You wouldn't know it was him if you didn't know it was him. But Keanu Reeves is in it as well. I mean, there's names there, and Gary Oldman is the voice of the computer in Tao. Fair enough. He's got a voice. He's got a great voice. That's a good bit of casting for me.
He's done a week of dialogue, hasn't he?
It's a great bit of casting. But Robert Redford being in The Discovery with Jason Segel, I mean, come on. Yeah?
Yeah. Done deal.
Excellent. We've got 2 awards left.
I was going to say the biggest awards. I don't think you'd want this award.
You won't want the next one. So we'll do this one, then we'll do the second induction of the Captain's Gallery, then we'll do the Shiniest Gem, the big one, the one everybody's talking about. So this one is the award for the biggest waste of time.
Yeah, sure.
And the nominations are Deadly Detention, Swiped, Aerials, 2036 Origin Unknown, Dark Light, and Thoroughbreds. Initial thoughts?
An absolute rogues gallery.
Yeah, it really is.
I'm going to address the horse in the room straight away.
Yeah.
For me, Thoroughbreds is nowhere near as bad as the rest of it.
Thoroughbreds is an awful film. That's a fact.
I didn't have a great time watching it. It didn't do much for me.
We have some fans of the show out there that enjoy Thoroughbreds. And
yeah, we didn't rank my father-in-law for one.
That's true, yeah.
We didn't rank it highly. But it's nowhere near as bad as the rest of it.
No, it isn't. It isn't. I will admit now
you're just trying to wind Ross up.
I'm just trying to wind Ross up. That is exactly what I'm doing. Thoroughbreds is a terrible film. Ross is wrong for liking it. That's a fact. That's
you can't say that.
I can. I just have. It's unarguable that he's wrong in this occasion. But I'm prepared to wipe it out because it's not as bad as the rest of them. That's for sure.
It wasn't a waste of my time.
It was. Where do we start with the rest of them, though, I suppose? Any of the rest of them could win this.
Unmitigated bullshit.
So we've got 2036 Origin Unknown was the bottom of last season's stream table. Swiped was the bottom of this season's stream table. So in theory, they're the 2 worst films we've seen. However, the stream table is not a judge of the worst and the best films. It's judged in the moment for that week of where we think that film rates alongside. You don't necessarily, what I'm trying to say is you don't necessarily end up with the worst film at the bottom and the best film at the top. Agreed?
Yeah, because we're not ranking films best. It's, we're also taking into account what did we most enjoy. Yeah.
There's a lot more.
Did we have we might have a flawed film rated higher than an average film because it had one good performance or it had a good moment in it.
That's why we do these 2 awards.
We like the design,
Yeah. The stream table was judged against the other films in the table, whereas these awards now are to pick the worst film and the best film that we've seen.
In those 2 series, yeah. I mean, I'll pitch one straight away if you want.
Go for it.
Unless you want to run for it. I have 0 positivity. I can't say anything positive at all about Deadly Detention. I think it is right up there with the worst films I've ever seen. I hated it.
Agreed.
All of it. Awful.
It is awful. It's a terrible film. But I'd like to rule out Aerials for the exact same reason that I mentioned it earlier on. I don't think it's fair to judge it against these other films.
Even though it's people being threatened by a giant bollock in the sky.
Yes, even though it's about that. For the same reason that I wanted Katie Sackhoff to win the award, the rest of the films in there are intentionally not made to be terrible. Whereas Aerials knew what it was.
Yeah, fine.
But the rest of them, Darklight, 2036, Origin Unknown, Swiped, and Deadly Detention, are 4 of the worst films I've ever seen. Horrendously bad films. And any of the 4 of them can win that. Any of them. I can't even argue anything good about any of the 4 of them.
No, but if I'm having to rule things out, I think I'm kind of edging towards giving Darklight a pass on this occasion, because that was the one that I found amusing.
Yeah, it was so entertainingly bad.
Because there's a guy who gets shot full on with a shotgun, and then he comes back about 10 minutes later. There's
a girl on a roof. We've never found out why she's on the roof or how she got back off the roof.
Yeah, there's that guy, and I find this hilarious, there's that guy who is like the expert in with these aliens. He's waited his whole life to, he spent his whole life researching them. He's now got this opportunity to try and catch one or investigate one, and he dies within
he
2 seconds.
Completely halloruns it.
So,
yeah, I agree.
In terms of your sort of
Darklight was entertaining.
Watching, there's more to it.
Yeah. Okay, so that narrows it down to 3. That narrows it down to Deadly Detention, Swiped, and 2036 Origin Unknown. That's tough. It was really tough. I don't even know. 2036 Origin Unknown is one of the most boring times of my life. It's
so bad.
It's so boring. Like, beyond boring. Swiped is offensively bad. It's just poor. And the fact, I think Swiped should win it because the director really likes Swiped and she goes off at people if they don't like her film and she kicks off, and I'd love it. I'd love it if she kicked off at us. I'd find that really entertaining. But then Deadly Detention is piss poor. It's not even about anything.
So the way I thought about it is Deadly Detention is the easiest one to get right.
Yes, agreed.
Because it's the premise of it is basically Breakfast Club with the serial killer
in a prison.
So
for some reason, these kids are doing a detention in a prison.
Yeah, which is ridiculous in itself. And it turns out, they're getting hunted down. You could have done. Surely that was easiest to get right.
Yeah.
Inventive deaths. There's loads of stuff around you can use around a prison. But it's awful. And then at the end, it turns out none of them are dead.
Yeah, it's true.
And the teacher comes back and says, "Oh no, they're all still breathing."
Should we give it to Deadly Detention, Nick?
That's the one that
all
have a place
3
in
of
my
them
heart.
are terrible.
But
Terrible.
Yeah.
You can't say. I can't say
movies.
anything good about those 3. The fact that Katie Sackhoff won Worst Performance probably rolls out 2036. But Swiped is such a bad film.
Yeah.
The fact that it finished below Aerials on the stream table says everything.
Yeah, sure.
Where did Deadly Detention finish?
It would have been just above 2036, I believe.
Let me just quickly double check. Yeah, so Deadly Detention finished 24th, 2036 finished 25th. Deadly Detention is the worst film we've seen in the last 2 seasons.
I think so.
Deal. Award handed out. Right, we need to induct another person into our captain's gallery.
Then let's say welcome to your friend and mine, a true favourite on this show over the past few years. Welcome aboard, Robbie ML.
Thoroughly deserved.
Leave your shirt at the door.
Yeah, Robbie ML should never wear a shirt. That's a fact. He should not be allowed to wear clothes.
And I'm probably, if he's on the stream boat, I'm probably having him serving me my food just shirtless.
Definitely. If he's on the stream boat, I'm always wearing clothes. I'm not getting my body out in front of him. It looks so inadequate. Robbie Amell has appeared on the show 3 times over the past 100 films. His first appearance was in a film called When We First Met, which finished 11th in the season 1 stream table.
That was the time-travelling photo booth, wasn't it?
It was indeed the time-travelling photo booth. He then appeared in season 2 in The Babysitter, which finished 7th on the stream table. And then he appeared again for the 3rd time, also in season 2 or in season 3? Season 2. 3, sorry, yeah, it was in season 3. In Arc, which finished 18th on the season 3 stream table. So he's appeared in the first 3 seasons. He's had 1 film. It didn't appear in season 4?
No, but he did pop up, obviously, in The Babysitter 2, which we did a bonus episode on.
We did. So yeah, Robbie Amell just seems to have taken this journey with us. There's a few on the long list that he's in as well, so he will appear again on the show at some point.
I'm sure
he will. So if you don't know who he is, he's the brother of Stephen Amell. Fun fact, Stephen Amell was born on the exact same day as me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he's going to be 40 in a couple of weeks' time as well. Yeah, welcome aboard to Robbie Amell, I guess.
Welcome.
Which leaves us with one last award to give out.
You're sitting down?
I am. Have been for ages now.
About 40 years.
Yeah.
So we end with the biggest award, the shiniest award, for it is the Shiniest Gem.
When we started the show, we decided that what we're looking for is hidden gems at the bottom of Netflix. So the award is named the Shiniest Gem Award because this is the award for the best film that we've seen over the past 2 seasons.
And I think this is going to be an interesting
Yeah, I'm really scared about this one. I have strong opinions.
I think you know what I think you think you know what I'm going to do.
Yes.
And try and argue.
Yes.
But I think you might be surprised.
Okay, good.
But let's see. Let's see.
Would you like to read out the nominations?
The nominations for the Shiniest Gem Award are See You Yesterday, Elementary, The Blacksmith and the Devil, Caliber, Bon Cop, Bad Cop, The Plagues of Breslau, and The Bad Batch.
Wonderful. All of those films are great. Let's just get that out there straight away.
Sure.
All of those films are great. I'd like to rule out one straight away, if I could.
I've got 3 to rule out. I think it's between 3.
Okay.
You go first.
It's definitely not Bon Cop, Bad Cop.
Right, so I thought you'd say this first. Let me say straight away. I think Bon Cop, Bad Cop is the funniest movie we have ever seen on this show.
Okay.
And for me, if, again, I didn't have to deal with you, it would be a lot higher on my personal stream table.
It finished 8th in season 3.
Yeah. And so you might be thinking, why is it on the Shiniest Gem if it only finished 8th?
I am thinking that.
We did have a big argument at the time.
Yeah.
For me, it is one of the most pleasant surprises we have ever had. I loved it.
It is a hidden gem. It is good.
It's really funny. It's properly funny.
It is.
I know you don't like cop films.
I don't like cop films. I don't do a lot of comedy either. But it is good and it is funny. But it isn't the best film we've seen.
And it took us totally by surprise. I really wanted it on here as an honourable mention.
Yep.
Because I think it's great. But I don't think it should win.
Good. Because it shouldn't. So you said you wanted to knock out 3 of them. So let's do that straight away then. So I presume, was that one of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think the Bad Batch should win.
Agreed.
And
Bad Batch finished 3rd in season 3.
Yeah, it's great. It looks amazing. It's got some good performances in.
Interestingly, as we were saying earlier, the stream table is not indicative of what these are going to be. It finished 3rd. Super Dark Times finished 2nd and isn't nominated. So that just shows you it's the difference between the award and the tables, I guess.
So for me, that doesn't quite get it. And yeah, just to expand on that a bit, it's like what we said. So I see this movie a lot as, what really took us by surprise.
Yeah.
what? So Super Dark Times is a great film, but did I kind of expect it to be good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did, from the trailer and from the synopsis and from some.
And it is really good.
It's great, but that's kind of my thinking of why it's not on this category. For me, the Plagues of Breslau doesn't quite cut it here either.
Agreed. I'm with you on that. Even though that finished second in this season's stream table.
Yeah.
It's a good film, but again, it's not. It doesn't compete. It has no.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is it's between See You Yesterday, the winner of season 3, Caliber, the winner of season 4, and Elementary, which finished 5th in season 3.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's either the winner of one of the two stream tables or the film that finished 5th in season 3.
Correct.
I'm going to put it out there now. It's definitely the film that's finished 5th in season 3.
100% agree.
Elementary, The Blacksmith and the Devil is the best film we've seen this year, in the last year on this show.
It definitely has the element of surprise. So, I think we said when it came out at the time, we'd seen it lurking on the long list.
Yeah, it's been on the long list since we started the show. So at that point, 55 films ago.
We'd kind of mentioned, sort of joked, hadn't we? Oh, look, there's that weird Spanish film that's based on a folk tale.
I hope that never comes out.
Yeah, that's going to be really tough to do. It came out.
We watched it.
It was so much fun.
It's so good. I'm so glad you're on board with this. I honestly thought I'd have to argue this one with you. And
no, it's the shiniest gem for me from the last two seasons.
Just the experience of watching it, because we watched it on the same night, although we don't talk about the films at the same time. But the two guys from Grief Burrito watched it at the same time. Ross Cook watched it at the same time. And there was just it was like a moment that was happening, because that doesn't happen. People were talking about this film before we recorded our episode on it, and it felt like something was happening at the time. And the people at Netflix must have been like, 5 people watched Elementary last night. What's going on?
So, just to give a really brief synopsis, if you've not heard our episode or you're not familiar, it is based on a Basque folk tale. It's a blacksmith who happens to have a demon captured, and he makes a deal with the demon, and essentially the blacksmith ends up going to hell.
Yeah. To
kick the devil's ass.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's incredible. I can't even begin to tell you how good this film is. I don't even understand why it's so low on the table.
You're asking me to remember what was around it, and I can't remember.
Fast Colour's just above it at number 4.
Yeah.
And The Bad Batch is at number 3. Ganso's just below it. So
okay.
The top of season 3 stream table is so fucking strong.
I'd pretty much stand by that. I mean, maybe I'd switch it. Maybe The Bad Batch, but like I say, I think Fast Colour's great.
Yeah.
I think Super Dark.
There's just an experience around watching Elementary. It's just there, and it's so good.
You also know what this means.
What's that?
If we're giving the Shiniest Gem to that, it means that both Shiniest Gem winners are Spanish movies.
That is true.
And who could have possibly thought that?
That is crazy. Yeah, The Mirage won the first ever BOTScars Shiniest Gem award, and it's still the best film we've ever seen out of the 100. It is. Yeah.
I'm not commenting.
It is. In my opinion, it is the best film we've seen.
And yeah, I think they're the only 2 Spanish movies we've watched.
And they've both won Shiniest Gem award.
Nothing else springs to mind, so that's pretty high pressure for if the next
should
time
the next Spanish film come
find one.
Maybe we should ban Spanish films from now on. We've kind of peaked with them. Elementary is the Shiniest Gem 2021. Congratulations to its cast and crew.
Well done.
That's another BOTScars awards done, Nick. Are you happy with them all?
Yes.
Do we want to run down the winners again?
Let's do it. Would you like me to do that?
Or? Yeah, you can do if you want to.
Okay, so just to recap, the best death was the Test Your Strength from Funhouse Massacre. The worst performance by a human was Katie Sackhoff in 2036, Origin Unknown. That was acting skills unknown for us. The best performance by a human was Gugu Mbatha Raw in Fast Colour. The weirdest naughty was Snake Demon and an Irish lady from The Holidays. That was the St. Patrick's Day story, wasn't it? The most batshit crazy movie was Gantz O.
Yep.
The best performance by a non-human.
Non-human.
That's because I've just read Trejo. The best performance by a non-human was the Danny Trejo demon, again in Gantz O. 2 awards for that movie. The most memorable moment was the kid getting shot in Calabar. The Drowning in the Stream award goes to Robert Redford. The biggest waste of time was Deadly Detention. And the shiniest gem was Elementary, the Blacksmith and the Devil.
Thoroughly deserved. All of those thoroughly deserved. Before we started tonight, I highlighted the things I thought was going to win.
Okay.
Do you want to know how many I got right?
Yeah.
5.
Okay, 50%.
Yeah.
That's
so
not
you've managed to argue against me 5 times.
I'll take that ratio. I didn't highlight. I just went in raw.
Oh yeah, raw or no. Right.
Yeah.
That just leaves us one thing to do, I guess. Do you know,
what's that?
We need to pick a film to start season 5.
Oh, of course we do.
In case you missed it, we released a big announcement on a small episode last Monday. Basically, what we're changing things up a little bit for season 5. We've decided to shake up the show a little bit, I guess. So, as of next Monday, we will be releasing 2 episodes a week. So, the Monday episode will now be more laid back, more general chat about things that are going on at Netflix, news, things we've been watching, that sort of thing. Basically, the intro of our current episodes, elongated to 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, we got a few new things we want to try in there over the coming weeks.
Yeah, we've got some features.
Which we'll have a go at as well. So, bit experimental, but I think it'll allow us to, branch out a little bit, I guess.
We're calling that The Wave, and that will be coming every Monday from now on. Every Thursday from now on will be the film chat, the basically what we do now, but without the big intro at the beginning. So it'll just be us two talking about the film of the week. That's the Bottom of the Stream movie show. That will come out on a Thursday. So we need to pick a film now that will be for the episode that comes out next Thursday.
Sure.
What would you like to get from the opening episode of season 5, Nick?
It's a fresh start, you know. I am completely open to any genre, any country, anything. I am a completely blank canvas, as is our season 5 stream table.
It is. Right, I'm going to press the button then. Are you ready?
Let the randomizer do its worst.
It has picked a film called Temple.
Okay.
Do you have any idea what Temple is?
I have absolutely none whatsoever.
Would you like to make a prediction?
I'm guessing there's a religious aspect to it.
Correct. Temple, according to IMDb, is an adventure drama horror film. It says, 3 American tourists follow a mysterious man deep into the jungles of Japan, searching for an ancient temple. When spirits entrap them, their adventure quickly becomes a horrific nightmare.
That sounds like a solid opener and right up our stream.
It does, doesn't it? It sounds like a little bit of Us, that film. It is a little bit of Us because it is rated at 3.6 on IMDb.
Okay.
And it's from 2017. Okay, so yeah, Temple. You really excited for that one?
Yeah.
You never know. It might be next BOTScars Awards Shiniest Gem Award. You never know, dear.
Who knows?
It's more than likely going to be the biggest waste of time. So yeah, go out and check out Temple. And in the meantime, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd at BOTS_podcast. Check us out at Facebook, facebook.com/bottomofthestream. Our email address is bottomofthestream@gmail.com if you want to drop us an email. The website is bottomofthestream.com. On there you'll find every episode we've ever recorded. All 4 season stream tables are now fully complete. And at some point over the weekend, I'll get the BOTScars Awards up there so you can check out for yourself. I'll put some clips in if I can find them. Just go check out the website. It's really good. You can also get some merch on there if you want to. Patreon's going to become quite big for us in the next season because, like we said, we're doing episodes Monday and Thursday. The Patreons will get both episodes on a Monday. So if you join our Patreon, you will get an episode 4 days earlier than everybody else. So check us out over there. Patreon.com/BottomOfTheStream. For a couple of quid every month, you get that bonus. You get some merch. You get all sorts. Nick writes an amazing newsletter every month. You get a wild card. If you come in at a certain level, you can pick one of the films. So yeah, check us out over there. Patreon.com/BottomOfTheStream. And come join us in the Discord. We do loads of nice, cool chats in the Discord now. Everybody in there is really cool. The Discord link will be at the bottom of the show notes.
It's been going off like the clappers while we've been in here. I need to go and catch up, find out what people are talking about. Yeah, so if you can't do any of that, please consider taking a few minutes though to leave us a review anywhere that you can review podcasts. That could be Podchaser, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I tell you what, if we get like 100 reviews between now and next BOTScars, I'll give an award for the best review.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Definitely, we'll do that. Just go and review us. Podchaser is probably the best place to do it, or Apple Podcasts. Do that.
I think currently a Podchaser not giving a donation.
Yeah, they're donating some money to some charity for every review that goes put on the website. I don't know the details, but yeah, they are.
So go and have a look at that. You can help some.
It's also a really great place for looking for podcasts. Podchaser is really good for podcast discovery. It's a podcast website built by podcasters for podcasters and podcast fans. It's definitely worth checking out.
Have a look. It's a bit. They're kind of trying to go for an IMDb for podcasts kind of thing.
Exactly the vibe they're going for. So yeah, do all that.
Excellent.
Check us out. Check out Temple, and we'll come back next week for episode 1 of The Wave on Monday, and then following Thursday we'll talk about Temple.
Cheers.
Thanks. Bye.